words cannot describe this. Like, how much of a like words escape me. How do I want to word it? We can unburden ourselves from the past Sony Marvel movies with Morbius, so we can see what can come. So if we unburden ourselves from the past,
we live in the context.
We can be burdened by the future of bad Marvel movies that really only exist for the sake of memes. Hello and welcome back to the Nerdiest podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Nick Barrett, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my ride or die, Mr. Jackson Glass. And today, we're going to be doing something a little different. Last week, we did our little, guessing the poorly described movie game, which you should go check out if you haven't already. But today, we are going to be doing meme or masterpiece. We're going to be taking a look at some movies and trying to decide if it's just a meme or if it's a masterpiece. We're also going to go over some news because right after we stopped recording last episode, because we recorded it ahead of time because of scheduling reasons, Disney decided to announce everything and do all of their D23 panels right after. So we've got a highlight of some of the good D23 news. Donald Duck was on Hot Ones this week, which I watched and I'll talk about in a minute. And then also Chick-Fil-A is doing a streaming service. I don't know. We'll loop back to all that in a minute.
We're going to get back to that.
Before that, I want to know, Jackson, how's your week been? How you doing?
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. If you're watching the video, you can tell this is a little bit of a shakeup, and that's because I've been confined into a small space because I am back to school. Now, thank you. I know. Now, it's good and it's bad. It's good because I'm around a lot of people and we have a lot of creative projects going, actually, a lot of collaborative stuff that I'm really excited about. This is the semester that everyone seems to be doing short films, so we're working on a ton of short films right now. I'm working on a couple scripts right now that I'm really excited about. We're working on that. We're working on a lot of music, and we're keeping going with that, and so it's all been really good. I'm a little overwhelmed, and that's okay. School is like that. If you're a student or were a student, you get that, you understand that. It's just a lot to take in right now. I am currently struggling with getting up early, and the problem is it's really easy for me to set an alarm for like 6:30, 7, because it's really, 7 is not that early. I'll be honest. Like 7 is not like the butt crack of dawn. But what is hard is going to bed before like 12, because when you're in school, this is your routine. You get up, maybe you take a shower, you eat breakfast, whatever you need, you get ready for the day, and then you go to class, and then you go to class, and then you go to lunch, and then you maybe go to another class, or you're going to go to work, and you're going to do your job, and you have dinner, and then you're doing homework or whatever. And then by like 10 p.m., I didn't get to do anything fun. And so I'm there, and it's like super late, and I want to do something fun. So I'll watch a movie, play a game, go hang out, do something like that. And now it's midnight, and I got to get up. And when that alarm goes off at 6:30, and you got in bed at midnight, that's not happening. You're not getting up.
I know how you feel, because I'm the same way with work. Like, because I get home from work, and especially some nights where it's like, oh, I had small group tonight. I had, young adults at church tonight. Like, I get home at 9:30, and I go to bed at 10 to get up for work the next day, because I got to get my full 8 hours,
Right.
And I get home, and I'm like, it's 9:30. I got a half hour. Go through the half hour. I'm like, I'm not fully done yet. Like, I wasn't done scrolling through Twitter or watching this video. I missed the 10 o'clock. So I might as well wait till 10:15.
Go till,
and I'm like, okay, what I can fit. And then I get 10:15. And well, I don't have it. I miss a 10:15. I gotta wait till 10:30.
Gotta go to 10:30.
And then we get to 11, and I wake up the next morning, and I'm like, I hate myself because I should have gone to bed earlier.
Yeah. And it's the first week of class, so I'm giving myself a little bit of grace. And I think that's what I'm learning to do, not to turn this into like a therapy session, but I'm learning to like, because when you're when you're an independent creator and you love being an independent creator, and I'm hoping I'm speaking to someone here. As an independent creator, I love being an independent creator. I love working on YouTube videos. I love working on podcasts. I love making short films and writing and doing stuff like that. And so I feel like I'm not actually doing anything when I'm just in school all day. And I feel like I should be doing more. It's like, oh my gosh, I did classes today, but now because I was in class, this YouTube video I'm working on, it has to go out Monday instead of Friday. And like, that just pisses me off. That makes me so mad. But it's like, no. You're investing your time in school so that you can do that full time to your biggest and best abilities.
Right.
And so it's kind of just like, I don't know. I'm putting the cart before the horse. And that's really hard because I really just have this desire, because I'm like halfway through college at this point and I'm halfway done. And I feel like I've been here for 10 years, but I've also feel like I've been here for like 30 minutes. And so it's kind of like, okay, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm ready to just go do what I've been studying to do. But every day I learn something new that I'm like, oh, yeah, I wouldn't have learned that if I wasn't here. And this is why I'm here. This is like where God put me for now. And so, I don't know. There's a lot of just, you asked how I was. So I'm going to say there's just a lot of learning to be patient and being a lot of being in tune with that. And just learning to be thankful for what you have in the time and realize the purpose for every season. And right now it's patience, and that is really, really difficult. And so that's how I'm doing. That, I mean, you asked, so that's what I'm up to. I'm sure you're foaming at the mouth for a wedding update.
I was just about to say, got any wedding updates to share this week? I mean, it's
we just had our band booked, and we really wanted a live band because, you know, I'm one that likes some crunk music. Like if I'm at a wedding and you get a little, I get down. I'm getting crunk, right? So I'm all about that. But also, you have every other opportunity to listen to Lil Jon, and you have like every other opportunity to do the cha-cha slide at someone else's wedding. And we were like, we just really want to be unique. We want to be different. Like, we're not like the other girls. So we really love the idea of a jazz band. And so we have that booked, and we're very excited about that. Now we're figuring out food. And we were gonna go taste cakes from a lady who has, her son is graduating the weekend that we're getting married, so she can't do our cake. So we're kind of back to option one on that one. So it's not to the drawing board, but it's option one. So anyway, that's your update. Nothing super pressing, but I gotta look at suits soon. And I'm looking at groomsmen gifts right now. So update to follow on what I pick.
You guys got you got a color palette yet?
Okay, it's very springy. It's very it's lots of blue. So I'm gonna get blue suits. Yes. Just so you know. I look really freaking good in a blue suit, dog. Let me tell you.
I do too.
But
my mom
like,
got blue suits for her wedding, and
yeah.
like, ooh, man.
It's something else. And it's like, it's very springy, so like, you know, it'll go with the flowers, and it's gonna be great. So so there you go. That's what I've been doing. Wow. There's your update. But I don't want to ramble on for too long. Mr. Nick, how are you doing?
Well, you know, I'm here. Work has been a week because I'm working on this project that, like, it's a great project. It's something new that I've never done before. So it's just been like a challenge creatively. But also, I'm tired of it because I'm working on an intro for a show. And I'm tired of hearing the intro music over and over and over and over and over again. Like, I can't do it, man. So I'm like, usually I'm like excited to go to work. But the last 2 days, I've been like dreading it because I'm like, oh, I got to go listen to this intro music, man. So, but outside of that, something I've been doing recently. Well, first of all, if you watch the video and you're an eagle eye viewer who's paying attention, you'll notice I changed my shelves behind me again.
Whoa.
I just needed to do something different. I felt like my room was getting really full and there was a lot of stuff on the shelves that just didn't need to be there. So I'm working on consolidating the shelves. Right now, the way it is pretty close. That one shelf right there, I'm not super thrilled with how it's done, but I also cleared off, you can't see it, but I have like a TV stand over there that had all my amiibos on it, and now my amiibos are over there instead. So now I have all this space on the TV stand, and it just feels a lot cleaner. And because, like, I like having stuff displayed, but I got to a point where it was almost overstimulating how much stuff was displayed. So having a more simplistic, like, room. I have a Lego set I'm going to put on the TV stand when I build it. I got it for Christmas, and I still haven't built it yet. So at this point, I'm kind of just waiting to see, like, maybe I'll just wait till Christmas this year and put it together, and then whatever I get for Christmas this year can be, like, Christmas. So
Right. The full cycle.
yeah, full cycle. So there's that. What else have I been doing? I went back just for funsies. I went back and I started watching old episodes of the podcast, like listening to them while I was at work. And I started with the oldest episode that was on YouTube because I wanted to, one, boost up our watch time. So
of course.
Maybe we can get monetized over there. But also listen back through because the oldest episodes are still from 2021. So it's still been
really
a significant amount of
ago.
time.
Yeah.
See, 3 years is not that much, but if you think about how far we've come in terms of editing, technology, lighting, like, I was cringing at those episodes, not because the content was bad. The content was good, but I was cringing because, like, I started listening to the Star Wars Visions episode, and I sound like this because I didn't know how to... Like, I sound super far away and super bad because I didn't know how to mix audio at all. So I sound super far away, but you sounded fine. And, like, it's just such a stark difference. And we also hadn't quite nailed the... What's the... Like, the dead air of Discord.
Yeah.
And, like, learning how to bounce off of each other. Like, that's such a skill that you learn after doing it for so long. Because I used to have to go in and, like, chop up all these odd moments because, like, I would stop talking and then you'd pick up, like, 3 seconds later. And I'm like, oh, we got to get rid of that.
It's like, this is awkward.
And now I really don't have to do any cutting unless there's, like, oh, we had a technical difficulty
issue.
Or whatever. Like, I can usually just let it play all the way through because we just figured it out.
I'll also say, like, you could not write a book on how to solve that. You literally just have to do it for years. And it's so hard because, like, we've talked before about, we were like, well, we could do like a, you know, if we wanted to become like internet gurus, we could do like a how to start a podcast thing. But also, one, everyone and their mother has done how to start a podcast. And two, I was like, I don't know if I could even teach it. I think you just have to do it. And if you do it for long enough, it becomes natural because it's so interesting. Like, this is not a natural thing at all. Like, the online thing is really awkward.
No, because then, like, we're totally different when we do episodes in person. And it's honestly almost weirder to do episodes in person because we're so used to doing it like this.
I feel like I keep pausing. Like, when we do episodes in person, I'm like, oh, there's no...
Oh, like, there's no Discord lag.
I don't have to, like...
That's interesting.
Like, pad myself. Because there's, like, a mental second that I give myself to make sure you're done.
Right.
And when it's not that in real life, I feel like I'm, like, off time.
Exactly. And, like, it's something you learn to do subconsciously, too. Like, you're not even consciously leaving that second. You just know. Because I even feel like there's a difference between how we talk when we're recording and when we're just talking on Discord. Because when we're just talking on Discord, we, like, talk over each other and, like,
all the time.
That timing is gone. But then when we're on the episode, it's like, oh, okay, hold on. The cameras are on. We got to do good. We got to...
Let them cook.
We got to make it work. So...
I also think, like, just while we're talking about it, like, I'm slowly learning how valuable of a skill I'm learning from podcasting in the sense of I can look at a bullet pointed list and like look at it once and then cleanly spurt out like some like semi-professional language that comes out clean in some weird way. So like we're doing this event for like incoming freshmen at school this week, and I was just kind of like there doing what I was like, put me in where you need me. And someone was like, hey, can you make this announcement? And they were like, can you announce our giveaway? And I was like, sure. I was like, who was it? And they were like, her name's Madison. I was like, cool. Hey guys, welcome to this. And I was just like, I didn't think about it at all. I just went on and started talking, and I was like, and it was in that moment that I was like, oh, I'm very comfortable talking into a microphone and kind of BSing my way through the sentence.
Like you virtually learn how to improv.
Right.
Because you don't, like with podcasting, you can write out like an entire script for an hour-long episode, but why would you do that? Because that's just a video essay at that point, which is something I'll loop back to. Like, I have more thoughts about old episodes, but I want to talk about this for a second because it really grinds my gears as someone who makes a podcast. Is people who just throw the word podcast at the end when they're not making a podcast.
Yeah,
like that frustrates me to no end, because you're like trying to fit in with the podcast people, but all you're doing is making video essays on YouTube. Like, that's not a podcast.
Right.
You solo talking into your microphone for 25 minutes because you have this topic that you want to talk about is not a podcast. Definition wise, maybe you could argue that it's, a podcast is just talking in a long form, like not even unscripted. Like, actually, I'm going to Google it right now. What is the Google definition of a podcast?
Because in my mind, a podcast has to be an audio medium first. If you like, which gets so messy because YouTube has kind of clouded the podcast market in like, oh, you have to be a video podcast and you have to have this super high quality thing. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if that's like changed the definition in some way or what. Because if podcast is audio medium, then what are we doing on this video?
So according to the dictionary, a podcast is a digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or mobile device, typically available as a series, new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically. Then there's another sub-definition by MailChimp that is a digital medium consisting of audio or video episodes that relate to a specific theme. So,
okay.
Here's the thing, though. See, that's what I was talking about. Like, technically, you solo talking into a microphone about anime, like me making anime videos, right? Yes, you could constitute that as a podcast, and it technically, definition-wise, be the same. But nobody thinks of that as the same. Like, it's more different. About like the cultural definition of what a podcast is. Because a podcast is something like this. We're going to sit down. It's essentially the new radio show is exactly what it is. Yeah. We're going to sit down, same hosts. We're going to talk about this thing. We got different topics that are all like in the same niche, or we're just going to talk about episodes of a TV show or whatever. Whereas like a video essay built for YouTube is different. So it's just frustrating when I see a channel, and like, no shade, I know a couple of people who do that, and I'm not like throwing shade to your content, because the two people I know who do that make good content. But the problem is,
call it what it is.
Just don't put the podcast at the end. Like,
because it makes it harder for other podcasts to get recognition.
Right.
When, we put a lot of hard work into planning and scripting and doing the video and, publishing and making sure all the details are right and all this. And then you are like, yeah, I'm also a podcast. And it's like, well,
no,
in the nicest way possible, we're not the same, You
upload videos to the internet as video essays. I do a podcast. We are not the same.
We are not the same. Yeah,
it's just something that, like, it's a little pet peeve where I'm like, maybe
That's
don't.
Okay.
Just, like, especially. No, I can't say that. I can't say that on.
That's
air.
okay.
I can't say that. I'll tell you later.
Speaking of old episodes, we had a prior conversation a little bit before talking about last year when we did our movie challenge, and we did this thing last year, if you remember, where we throughout the whole year we said who can watch the most movies, who will watch the most movies, and it became a competition. And it started with I was saying I want to watch 100 movies, and it became a competition into who could watch the most. And did you win? I feel like you won.
Yeah.
Okay, you won. And it was first to 100.
I won
and we
because
were talking,
you like slowed down and you were like, oh, the FNAF movie that we're going to watch together will be both of our 100th movies.
Right.
And it'll be great. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. By the way, I'm at like
that's
115.
Funny.
I hit 100 like a month ago and didn't say anything. I just lied through my teeth.
But then you did not pick that up again this year.
No.
How many movies are you at this year as of August 23rd, 2024?
How many movies are you at? Because I know you're way higher than me.
So, you know what's crazy is I looked it up last year. So, last year in 2023, by August, what is it, the 23rd? By August 23rd, I had seen 81 movies.
How did I
watch
102 movies last year?
So
How
last
did that
year,
happen?
by August 23rd, I had 81 movies. This year, by August 23rd, I have 82. So we're back, baby. We are grinding, and we're coming back for even a better year. I'm trying to remember what was my final number last year. Last year, my final number was 117. And
I think
honestly,
my final number was like 110. Because once I hit 100, I stopped because I was so burned out.
You did it for the glory.
Which did carry over to this year because I'm currently only at 24.
Oof.
And I don't foresee
lot.
putting a lot more on there. I want to go see like the Transformers, the new one. They put out a trailer for the Lord of the Rings anime movie, which looks pretty decent.
Actually, it looks fire.
Sonic 3 looks pretty hype.
That's gonna be fire.
Something else. That Operation. It's not Operation Claws.
Not Operation Claws. Red One. Yeah.
That's yours.
It is Operation Claws.
That
Let's
one.
be real.
And then there's like a couple. Oh, the My Hero movie is coming out. There's another like anime movie. So like I'm gonna end around like 35, maybe 40, which sounds like a lot to a non-movie watcher. Like someone like my mom, 40's a lot.
Right.
But then like us, 40's like really low.
No, dude, I work with someone who last year, and when I was talking about this, I was like, yeah, we're trying to get to 100. And his final total for the year was like 250. And I was just like, oh gosh. Here's the thing. I'm going to put an asterisk on this because if you just go like, yeah, my Letterboxd diary said I watched 200 movies this year. Okay. And then I go to your diary and you watched like 150 short films. That doesn't count. That does not count.
We're not the
We
same.
are talking feature films. Like, no. And I've literally run into this twice with different people. They're like, yeah, I watched 200. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
You didn't.
You
Get
cannot
outta here,
put
you
every
clown.
single Disney short that has ever been created on your Letterboxd and like have that add to your number. We had a rule. We were like, it has to be a feature film.
It had to be
that-
like longer than 45 minutes.
Was it? Yeah, it
'Cause
was
that's
longer
what
than 45. Right. It was longer than 45, and you had to see the credits.
Yep.
It was like if you got to the credits, you could log it. So like there was a time I watched Deadpool but went to bed with like 20 minutes left and I didn't log it because that was like our rule.
Because you didn't finish it, so it doesn't count.
Because I didn't finish it. So I didn't watch the whole thing. So we couldn't just like watch some of this there, some of that there. Oh, let me rate this, let me rate that. It was like, no, you need to watch it.
Right. Speaking
So,
of
I don't know.
watching stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching a lot of TV shows. How many TV shows
Oh,
have you
shoot.
watched this year? That's right. You don't know, do you?
I think 2.
And
two.
all of now you've watched more than 2. You've watched at least 4.
Oh, I forgot
'Cause
I've watched
we've
shows for this show.
The anime.
Yeah. Okay, so I've watched 4.
I've watched 21.
Holy, like full shows?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
You want to know the funny part is?
Yeah.
Only one of them was not an anime. Or I'm sorry, I lied. Only 2 of them were not anime. And it was
it Star Wars?
the live action Avatar, and I rewatched Community. Everything else
I do
is
remember
anime.
that. See, that's how you consume so much TV. Like, if you're only into American TV, there aren't 22 shows in a year that go out that are good. So,
I also
anyway,
it helps in that regard because we don't have like Disney Plus, so I couldn't even give
Right.
The Acolyte a shot. I couldn't watch The Bad Batch. I couldn't like.
right.
So when all I really have is Crunchyroll and High Dive,
Right.
that's all I
just
watch.
what you
That and
watch.
YouTube. So
Right.
I do want to loop real quick before we get to the news.
Yeah.
I was watching all these old episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And something that just blew my mind was how far we've come in 3 years. I know, like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get super sappy because that's what the 100th episode
Right.
was for. We did a lot of that there. But, like,
Yeah.
one, we both look a lot younger in
We were
those episodes
babies.
3 years ago.
We were
Because we
babies.
both were not consistently having facial hair, which makes you look so much older. But then also, like,
Yeah.
it's been 3 years.
Right.
So there's that, too.
and I've had my
even-
beard for over a year now.
True, because you grew it last summer. I was like, you should just
Yeah,
grow it while
yeah.
Amy's gone, and you did.
Yeah.
Look at you
and
go.
I did. And I did.
So it's like, and even just hearing you talk about being single on a couple episodes was so funny because now we're doing new episodes and we're like, so what's the update on your wedding planning?
What's the wedding update? Yeah.
That's crazy. So it's just like, it's such the podcast has become such a fun time capsule because even if it never like blows up and we're not like the biggest podcast in the world, top 5 on
Right.
the American charts or whatever, it's still this thing that we can go back and like show our kids. You can watch me go through the end of high school into college, into adult life to, oh, here's where you were born. Like,
Right.
and just have this timeline of life.
Right.
And even like, this sounds super morbid, but like when I'm not here, my kids can still
can still
have
watch it.
all these episodes of like, oh, I want to watch my dad on a podcast
Right.
and just
Which
see
is
like
so-
what he was like.
Which is so crazy because, like, my dad's still alive, but if he had like something like this, I would be listening to it. Like, I would go follow just to hear him as high school, college, like through that. And I think that's such an interesting side effect of the internet that we don't really talk about super often, is that we're such a documented society, and we have not gotten to a generation where they're going to use it yet. But
Right.
like, my grandkids could watch the Nerdiest podcast and know all about me, which is creepy in a way, but
Right.
still
Which makes
kind
you
of like
question how much
cool.
information we're putting on the internet, but also,
Which also like makes you think about your digital footprint, which I could have a whole rant about digital footprint because no one cares anymore and it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's really sentimental. That's really sweet. And it's like, wow, I'm going to go through like freaking like 4 different setups because I had a high school setup and then I moved to college and then I switched rooms when I came back for break, and then I'm going to go to like my married house, and then I'm going to graduate and have to go to like somewhere else, and it's going to be like,
Right.
oh, these are all the different places. And you had your apartment, and then you had like that other house you stayed at for a while, and then now you have home, but like you started at home, but then now you're home again, and it's
right. Like I started in a
it's crazy
completely
timeline.
different. I was in one city when we started, even though it wasn't video.
Right.
And I had like 3 different setups in that house because the Wi-Fi was bad. So like if the Wi-Fi was bad upstairs, I'd have to go downstairs and set everything up down there. And then we moved in 2020, so that's another setup. We had this like in between place, and then we moved to where we're at now. And I was over there against that wall.
Yep.
And now
I remember that.
Like I moved out for college, had 2 setups when I was in school, came back. Now I have this setup, and like it's just eventually I'll have my own place, which will be another setup, and like it's so crazy.
It's crazy
just to see how far we've come, even in 3 years, man.
3 years is not that long.
Where are we going to be in 3 years from now?
It's all, hey, let's do a little dream cloud so we can edit it in 3 years.
I might be dead. I don't know.
All right. All right. So August.
The way this economy's going, dog.
August 2027.
I would like to be married by then. I hope. Would be nice.
I hope that for you. I want that for you.
God, I can only be patient for so long.
God, thank you for the Nerdiest podcast.
What episode were we on? I'm gonna hold on. You keep going. I'm gonna do a little research here.
What was I gonna say? Oh, this show, we're so sentimental about it because we love it so much, and we've done it for so long because we love it so much, and we're so glad that you love it. And this show is made possible by listeners like you. So thank you so much for listening. And if you'd like to keep the show on the air, keep us moving so we can do our dream cloud in 3 years, you should subscribe on YouTube at the Nerdiest Podcast. Or if that's not enough for you, you could follow us on Instagram at the Nerdiest Podcast, Twitter at Nerdiest Pod, or if that's not enough for you, you could become a Spotify subscriber and get access to our monthly after show where we will be doing the Nerdiest Movie Club. Now, our last movie was Dan in Real Life with Steve Carell, and our next movie is none other than V for Vendetta, which I have not seen yet, and so we're really excited to talk about that. That's coming up on the Nerdiest after show. Only $3 a month, and it helps the show. We do everything ourselves, keeps us on the air. And if that's not enough for you, go to the nerdiestpodcast.com because we have super fun and exclusive merch right there for you. You can buy shirts, stickers, hats, mugs, whatever you need. It just helps support us, and we really appreciate you guys and all your incredible support throughout all the years. So, Mr. Nick, tell me about that date.
So, we have 2 options here. We could go exactly 3 years from when we're recording, which was August 23rd, 2021. That was our Friends episode.
Yeah.
Which was episode 46. Or we could go closer to when this episode actually comes out, which would be a casual chat about Lego Media, which was September 6th. And that was episode 47. So, now, let's do a little math here. This is episode 132. Minus the 47 episodes. That's 85 episodes in 3 years. So 132 plus 87, if we stay on the same and don't add any episodes and don't subtract any episodes, we'll be on episode 219.
219.
In August 2027.
That's too many episodes. That's so many. Okay.
That drives me insane, bro. I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
What do you mean 219? What do you mean 200? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Insane.
Man. Well, that's enough. This episode is turning into a maple tree with the amount of sap. I think it's time for some news that we were gonna circle back to. So Nick, hit me with some topics.
I hit you with some light ones first. Donald Duck was on Hot Ones.
That's a decision.
So random, but I watched it today and it was kind of funny. It is also really funny that Disney will pull out the 2D animation for a Hot Ones, but not for a full-length movie.
Right.
Good job, Disney.
Thanks, guys.
So there was that. Speaking of Disney, D23 was a couple weeks ago. We got a lot of announcements there. They're bringing a Villain's Land and a Cars Land to Magic Kingdom, which has been met with much controversy because they're filling in and paving over the rivers of America when there are like 500 people on Twitter who have shown better blueprints and ways that you don't have to do that. Because it's also like, I don't know, maybe don't get rid of the Serene River, which also helps you with drainage because it rains every 2 seconds in Florida.
Right.
And replace it with a concrete slab to feel more like Universal. But that's just me.
Well, that's what I was going to say this is just going to feel very industrialized for Magic Kingdom. And you're going to be like, wow, the Magic Kingdom. And
There's
it
no
also
magic
like
here, just concrete.
there's no magic here, just concrete. And it's kind of like, okay, and they have the Tiana's Bayou adventure over there, which is all like, watery, and I don't know if it's gonna like fit as well as they think it's going to.
Right, like it's gonna feel weird that there's this big water ride and then there's no water to be seen anywhere else. Like that's just
because that was the connecting factor. It was like, this is where it's. I don't know. I think it could have been incorporated, and not just paved over. Like that's kind of gross.
I also think there's a much better place to put a cars area. Like
right.
And also, you're telling me you have all this space and you couldn't find a better place to put it? Like, I understand wanting to add more to Magic Kingdom, but at the same time, like, and it's so interesting because I was listening to a Disney podcast and the difference of, like, they were really excited. They're like, oh, I'm sad that it's gone, but at the same time, like, I'm super excited because my son gets to go, which that was another podcast that is a time capsule because when they started that show, neither of them were married, and now they're both married, and one has a kid, and it's crazy. And they've been doing that for 7 years. So, but anyway, they were like, yeah, my son's going to get to go, and like, even the Disney World he's seeing when we go in November, like, is going to be so different than the one he'll remember, like, as he gets older.
Right.
And, like, it'll be so different from the Disney I went to, but that's okay. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. No, hold on. Whoa.
Hold on.
I want to take my kids to the Disney I grew up with. I don't care for all this, like, Cars-ifying and Villain-land-ifying, like, I want my kids to be able to watch like all my old vlogs and see all this stuff and be like, well, where is that? And I'm like, well, we're standing on
Not
it
there
in
anymore.
line for this Cars ride. There used to be water right here. There used to be a riverboat that went all the way around. Like, it was really cool. And now it's just concrete.
I think that there's a misconception that they need to keep expanding and keep changing and keep growing and keep this. And it's kind of like, no. You're like, consistent people love what's there, And I think my biggest fear, like, as long as they don't like touch the fundamentals of Hollywood Studios, I'm going to be okay. So like, as long as Sunset Boulevard and the Tower of Terror stay right there, I'm going to be okay. If they change it to Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm going to ride to the top and jump off. Like, it's not going to happen. So but then they're adding like Villain Land and Cars Land, and I'm starting to get concerned that Magic Kingdom isn't going to be a one-day park anymore.
It's already barely a one-day park.
It's already like, the last time I went over New Year's, and we did rope drop to park close, and we did everything, but it was like a 15,000 step, like, all freaking day thing. And you're really weaning out your more casual guests. And, if you have young kids, that's harder because you don't get to do everything. But also on the flip side, maybe by adding more big rides, your wait times will go down. So, like...
But even then, I don't think that's the case because they added, like, Tron and the wait times have gotten worse. And that's because... And we've gone on this spiel before... It's because of Lightning Lane. And, like, it's the whole thing. Well, I'm sorry, it's not...
The system
is
trash.
Is Lightning Lane now. It's not Genie Plus anymore.
I don't freaking... Dude.
I don't know either. I need to do a research before I go, because I'm going with my mom in November.
Yeah.
And you're right.
And I'm like, Villains Land? In Magic Kingdom?
Here's the thing. It feels really cool. Like, I think Villains Land is really cool. I think it's great that we're getting more Cars stuff on the East Coast because it is just like a West Coast thing. I think Monsters, Inc. Lane at Hollywood Studios is great.
That's a great idea.
And honestly, Hollywood Studios... Okay, so
Hollywood Studios needs a little help.
That at Hollywood Studios, and then they have the Tropical Americas replacing Dino Land at Animal Kingdom. I think those two are phenomenal, so long as Monsters, Inc. doesn't get rid of the Muppets, because everyone's on Muppet Watch right now, because they're like, well, we could nuke that. But there's that, and then there's the stuff at Magic Kingdom where I'm like, I just don't feel like that needs to go there.
No.
But if it is, you need to find a better spot for it. Like somebody charted out a map that there's all this free space behind Fantasyland that you could put the villain's land there, which maybe that is where it's going already. But it was like, it was a chart of showing how you can have the villain's land without having to destroy the rivers of America.
Right.
And you can still keep that, and you can have your villain's land. You might have to find somewhere else for Cars to go, but that's okay.
Right.
Maybe put it at Hollywood Studios where the other like Cars experience is. You got all that free space there, like, put it there.
The only Cars thing at Disney World, not Disneyland, is Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, which, by the way, last time I went, I wore my Lightning McQueen shirt, and I just fangirled the whole time, and a lot of moms thought I was crazy, and it was just really entertaining. But I'm like, I feel like that fits the Hollywood Studios vibe a lot better than Magic Kingdom vibe. And I feel like Hollywood Studios is a park that you can do in a day. Granted, I like 2 Hollywood Studios days because Hollywood Studios is my favorite park. And I like to just kind of chill on Sunset Boulevard and have ice cream. So anyway, but you can do it in a day, and there's space to expand out there. And I think I liked Hollywood Studios before it was the Star Wars park. And so I think like Galaxy's Edge is like super immersive and so cool and a great idea. Do that for Cars over there because it's the movie park. Cars is like one of their biggest movies and all the Pixar stuff, and it's like just so, I don't know. Like you have all the Toy Story stuff over there. Like it fits. Like Cars is
and
not.
You're about to have Monsters Inc. over there too, so just have like all your Pixar stuff there.
Right. Why is Cars being subject to, why are they destroying the like serene rivers of Magic Kingdom that actually give you a breath of fresh air in this industrialized park when it would legitimately fit better over in Hollywood Studios? And I freaking love Hollywood Studios and I love Cars, so I would go. Like I feel like the audience crossover is there. So I don't really know what that decision was all about.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode
For
on
real.
all that. Dude, I could go off about the Disney parks because I grew up there, love the parks. I'm so excited to go in November because the train is finally open. Dude, I haven't ridden the train in 7 years. And I already told my mom, I'm like, when we get there, first thing I'm doing is the train. After lunch, doing the train. At night, doing the train. I'm doing it like I got to make up for lost time because with all this construction, they're going to close it again.
Train.
And I'm
I
like, bro,
trains.
I gotta get my train time in. So I'm super excited about that. Now, moving on back into our niche, a lot of movie stuff from D23.
Yeah.
I have an article. I'm going to speed through some of these because they're kind of old.
Yep.
Moana 2 got a new trailer. I think it looks good. I just need it to be good. Disney could definitely desperately use a real win for once. The Snow White live action got a trailer. Doesn't look good.
Pass.
Hard pass. No. Okay. We got to look at the live action Lilo and Stitch, which I think looks good for what it is, but at the same time, I don't think it should exist because Lilo and Stitch is the same age as me. It's only 22 years old, man. It's going to be 23 when it comes out. That's not enough time to make... Okay. Anyway, moving on. We got Incredibles 3 announced.
Smash.
Which is interesting. Toy Story 5.
I'm gonna let Brad Bird cook on that one. Let him
True.
cook.
True. Incredibles 3 has potential.
Mm-hmm.
Toy Story 5, on the other hand, pass.
Trash. Pass.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't even want to... According to director Andrew Stanton, Woody, Buzz, and the gang will be fighting to stop their new child from becoming an iPad kid. Wait, new kid?
We're going to another kid?
We're going to another kid?
But Woody he left them behind. Why did we make... So are we retconning the fourth one?
Yep. Yep.
TBH, everyone else has done it, so you may as well just make it real.
Okay.
Gosh.
Frozen 3. That's happening.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a
Smash?
chance. I'm gonna say Smash.
Okay.
Say Smash.
Zootopia 2, smash.
Smash.
Think it'll be
Lots
good.
of opportunity.
Pixar's, is it? Yeah, it is Pixar. Elio, which is about like the kid who goes to see the aliens.
I'm gonna say, if it goes to theaters, I'll see it there because I want Pixar movies to go to theaters.
It is going to theaters in next June.
Okay, I will be watching it. I'll be married.
Don't say that. Don't stop. Don't.
I
no,
could
no,
go.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
So
Holy
we got Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which is like
pass.
not for us.
Pass.
Definitely pass. Agatha All Along got a trailer. I gotta go pass.
I'll consider it.
Fantastic Four got footage shown that we didn't get to see, so
Smash.
I can't say anything. Daredevil got footage.
Pass.
Pass. Avatar 3 is now Avatar Fire and Ash. Hard pass.
Pass.
Although we only need, what was it? What am I missing? Why can I not think of it?
What? I don't know what you're thinking of.
We need air.
Air.
We need air. And then Jake Sully can be the Avatar because the first movie was about Earth. The second movie was about water. The third movie was about fire. So now the fourth movie we get wind. And then the fifth one he becomes the Avatar.
The Avatar.
So there's that. Hard pass. I cannot stand James Cameron. What else? Tron Ares is happening. Ares?
I'm going to say Smash.
Which comes out next October.
7 Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack.
9 Inch Nails, thank you very much.
9 Inch, sorry. I don't even care. And I was kind of like, that is a very interesting decision for a Tron movie. So I kind of need to see that before I'm all in.
The Rock is doing a Monster Jam movie.
Pass,
Smash?
dog. Pass, dog. Why can't Dwayne Johnson do anything normal?
Pixar's doing their first ever TV series titled Win or Lose, which comes out this year.
I'll watch.
I don't have Disney Plus, so I have to say pass.
I'm going to give it a chance.
They're doing a spin-off called Dream Productions, which I think is a group of shorts about Riley's dreams from Inside Out. So there's that.
Pass.
Hoppers is a new Pixar film.
Dude, smash.
About turning into beavers. And honestly, I say smash.
Let's support original weird ideas from Pixar. Like we need that from them.
Mufasa, the Lion King is the new trailer.
Okay. Pass.
One of my coworkers was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go see that when it comes out," and I'm like, "No. Wait till it comes out on Disney Plus. I don't care if you watch it. Just don't give it the box office dollars, please.
No,
please." Do you know how much better that movie would be if it was animated like
we
the
would be
original?
hyping the heck out of this movie if it was actually animated.
Ironheart got footage. Pass. Andor got footage. Pass.
Pass.
The Mandalorian and Grogu got something. Smash.
Reluctant smash.
Percy Jackson season 2. Pass.
Pass.
And that's it. That's all from the entertainment panel. So it was kind of mixed. There's a lot of sequel, remake, sequel type stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, does anybody expect anything less from Disney at this point? Like,
yeah, that's just kind of where
we're
at.
So I think that's all in the
so
news.
You guys need to go freaking watch Hoppers because that's like their only like original thing that's coming out. I'm like, we need to tell them that we support this.
Oh, another thing that happened in terms of Disney news was some lady died from an allergy, and then Disney tried to get them to dismiss the lawsuit that the husband filed because he signed up for a trial of Disney Plus, which got everybody in a little bit of a tizzy of like, wait a minute, so you're telling me if I have Disney Plus, you can kill my family and I can't do anything about it? I don't know how I feel about that. And then Disney was, after a week of public backlash and their stock dropping like nobody's business, they said, well, we really just want to put the considerations of people ahead of anything else. And, we really care about our customers, and which is why we're going to let this go through. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, you guys could have just paid the guy his $50,000 that he wanted, called it a day.
Right.
But no,
For real.
you
Like, you're
wanted to
Disney.
be a stick in the mud and save yourself 50 grand when you're going to make 50 grand off that restaurant in like 2 months.
Right.
So chill.
If that.
If
Did
that.
you know Disney? I know someone who used to work for Disney, and she gives me like all the tea, and I was like, holy cow. Apparently, the Disney electrical bill, you can pay the Disney electrical bill for 1 month with 1 day of popcorn sales.
Dang, that's crazy.
Which is bonkers. So anyway, to end on a high note on this news, something that I don't have any information on, but I'm so intrigued, is that Chick-Fil-A has said that they will be going into the streaming space.
Don't read that out loud. Don't read that out loud.
That's
why
a little
I texted
funny.
to you.
He just texted me an inappropriate joke. Now, Chick-Fil-A in the streaming sphere. Why? I don't know.
Why?
But also, think about this. Every Christmas, Chick-fil-A makes banger short films. They really do. If you didn't know, they have really great short films that they make every Christmas for promotional, and they're all really good. So, are we so back? Like, is Chick-fil-A going to save streaming?
Is their streaming service going to be available on Sundays? Or is it gonna like cease
crap.
functionality on? It's just
I'm
offline
just saying,
all day.
guys.
Sunday.
Come check out your boy on the Chick-fil-A streaming service. Like,
Here's my thought.
honestly, as a Christian creator, this may be a big deal. Like, I don't know.
Here's what I'm thinking. I feel like Chick-fil-A is doing an inverse Disney here, because for those who don't know, the uninitiated, Disney way back in the day tried to do franchise restaurants, a la like Chef Mickey's from the Contemporary, but as standalone restaurants in different states. So that didn't go very well. It just market failure.
Yeah.
So they went back to what they were good at, which was the entertainment industry and the parks industry. Chick-fil-A has seemingly cornered and mastered the food industry. So now, because they've already got that under control, they're pivoting to the entertainment industry, because when you've conquered the food industry, where do you go?
Entertainment.
Outside of fast food. Like, you could go to sit-down restaurants, you could go to bars, pubs, any places like... No, you go to the entertainment industry. That's the next logical step. So, I think there's a lot of different ways they could go. I personally would really love to see a Office-style mockumentary about the Chick-fil-A cows.
Yes, me too.
And the things they have to go through to get the Eat More Chicken campaign, and how they're gonna get people to eat more chicken instead of burgers.
Unless this is like, Chick-fil-A isn't really the kind of company that like does like joke PR campaigns though. Like, this isn't for clout.
Is it not all a joke campaign though? Is it not what the Eat More Chicken is predicated off of?
I mean, kind of, but not like, Wendy's is the kind of person that'd be like, yeah, we're doing a streaming service, but like, it's a joke. It's like not really. Chick-fil-A is like, yeah, we're doing streaming. And it's like, are you? And they're like, yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, pop off, I guess. So
all right,
update to follow on that.
I guess we'll see what happens with that.
So,
speaking of joke PR campaigns,
memes
are funny.
Speaking of Chick-fil-A sandwiches, masterpieces.
True.
So
what makes a meme? What makes a masterpiece? Dive into that and more after this non-existent commercial break.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Okay.
It's like the My Hero, like it goes in and then it does it again, even though there's... Hey, we're back.
It goes in and out because it's got to go out, and then they do have commercials.
Out of commercial and then come back. Yeah,
it makes sense when you're not watching it on streaming and don't have the commercials.
So explain to us how this game is going to work.
So it's not really a game. It's just more of a discussion per se. Because we're going to have a discussion about whether or not certain movies are truly just a masterpiece or a meme. And because some movies, like, yeah, it's a meme, but it's also, like, low-key kind of good. Like, it's kind of fire.
Right.
So, let's start off. I'm going to pick 2 movies to start here.
Okay.
And, like, one is very clearly going to be a masterpiece, and the other one's going to be a meme. Just so we can, like, set some clarifying boundaries.
Right. Okay.
So, we're going to start off with the hit 2024 movie, Madam Web. Is this a meme or a masterpiece? What do you think?
Dog, that is a straight meme.
Yeah, there's no...
It's not even funny bad. It is painful bad.
It's funny enough for the
episode.
memes, but...
Right. We did a whole friggin' episode about this, and it was just kind of like a deep dive into, like, how do bad movies get made? And that's what everyone's saying, that, like, somehow Borderlands is like Madam Web level cringe right now. And I was like, I don't know. Madam Web was like, it was like iMovie trailer level, like, dialogue. So yeah. So that's a meme.
That's clearly a meme.
Consensus meme. Right.
Okay. Here's another one I got for you. Megamind.
Okay.
Is this a meme
masterpiece
or a masterpiece? It's a masterpiece. Is it also... There's some overlap here, because, like, Megamind, I would say, is a masterpiece, but also it's got a lot of good memes in it. And I think what
this
makes
needs to be
a masterpiece...
Venn diagram.
Yeah, you're really good at Venn diagrams.
I love Venn diagrams, dog.
So, like, Megamind, what makes it such a good masterpiece is that it almost embraces its memes.
Right.
And is very self-aware about them and pokes a lot of fun at the superhero genre, and then ties that into having a really solid plot. Masterpiece, bro. I watched it for the first time all the way through this year. And despite having watched dozens of video essays about it, sorry, I just did a full hat rotation. That was fun. Despite having seen, watched the same video essay over and over again, where they go through the movie over and over again, it's still, like, I was still laughing at the jokes. I still thought it was incredibly funny. And, like, every time Metro Man does his, like, you're that punk I heard about, and does the little, like, calf flare, all I can hear is the fart reverb sound effect. Even in the movie, like, I was like, oh, I'm disappointed that this wasn't there. And it's like, my death was greatly exaggerated.
I think what makes Megamind a meme, so here's what you think about. You gotta think about, like, definitions, in the sense of, like, it's a masterpiece in the sense of it's highly rewatchable, it's highly quotable, and it's a genuinely really touching and smart story. And the character design is unique, and DreamWorks movies have this way of being very quotable, very memeable, very iconic, but also having very unique character designs that you can pick out of a crowd. So, like, Megamind does not look like any Disney movie. Like, not like the character of Megamind. And Minion is super unique, and they're pulling in these cast members that are stacked. So, like, Will Ferrell and what's his name? He's Uncle Ian on Alvin. Jonah Hill, Tina Fey, like, these people, you know, these really great comedians, and then collaborating with these really great writers to make what is genuinely a really funny movie. But funny doesn't cut it. Like, funny isn't it. Like, there's a genuinely very deep and thoughtful story behind this character in this movie. And you think about all of the most iconic Megamind moments, but they wouldn't hit without the emotional weight that you actually get from the movie. Like, he's actually just this goober that, like, was bullied as a kid, and that's, like, really sad, and you really feel for him. He's kind of like the anti-villain character who accidentally creates a real villain, and that's really cool, and that's really unique. And I just, like, would turn this movie on at any point. Like, this is a masterpiece. Is it a meme? I'm going to say yes. Because if you think about the quotes from this movie, like, all the time, I'll just be like, oh, use the forget me stick. And that's such a good line. And so, And my personal favorite, I use this all the time if I'm walking to class, be like, yes, it's called formal speed walking. And I use that line to death. I love it so much. So yeah, that's my thought. Meme and masterpiece.
Okay. All right, so now that we've set a little bit of a standard,
Right.
let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the hit movie, The Lorax,
I have seen The Lorax.
with Taylor Swift and Danny DeVito? And the
Freaking
guy
Taylor
who
Swift
plays the
is
kid is also there.
He's there. I don't know who he is.
I don't either. Hold on. I feel like it's a really significant
I
person.
feel like it is a significant... Is it Zac Efron?
Maybe?
I think it's Zac Efron. I may be wrong.
It is Zac Efron.
Okay, cool.
And Ed Helms is the Onceler,
Uh-huh.
which is
Kinda
such a
crazy.
meme, by the way. People like started simping over him, and I don't understand what happened. I'm like, bro, listen, what happened?
Hear me out. All right, so tell me, meme or masterpiece?
Honestly, it's hard because I don't want to give every movie masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like The Lorax is a genuinely good movie. Like, everyone
Right.
clowns on it, and it's one of the early Illumination movies, and you can tell.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think that's why it works, because I think Illumination
Right.
plays into the Dr. Seuss style very well,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just very out there and wacky, and Dr. Seuss books are very out there and wacky, and like
Mm-hmm.
that's just how it is. That's what he was known
Right.
for. So I think that's a good matchup. I don't know if I can put it on the same level of masterpiece as Megamind, though.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's all about the scale, where it's like, this is a good movie. I'm leaning towards meme, because I think that where the Lorax becomes memeable is in the songs. And so how bad can I be? Such a good song. Banger. Let It Grow, banger. And I remember when I was like, when it like came out, I was at like this camp, and that's what everyone did. It was the let it die, let it shrivel up and die. Come on, who's with me, right? Like, that was the thing to do, and it was funny. But outside of that, it's just kind of like a fun movie. But I don't think it's on the same level as something like Megamind.
No, because now that I think about it, like every time I think about the Lorax, it's because of a meme. It's
Right.
not necessarily on the merits of the movie, like, oh, this is a really good movie, let's turn that on, because it's really funny, and it's
Right.
like da-da-da-da-da, like everything we said.
Oh,
Megamind,
speak for the trees, you know?
it's like I think about the memes, like the let it die, let it grow, like how bad can I be, all that. My favorite one that we use in D&D a lot is it's like his aunt or something comes out of the car, and the Lorax does this turn, and he's like, that's a woman?
That's a woman? That's a woman?
Like, that's such a good meme.
That is so
Like,
good.
I think of it for stuff like that, or just the fact that Taylor Swift and Zac Efron are in this movie at all.
Right, and they're the only ones that don't sing. Like, Betty White sings in this movie, but Taylor Swift doesn't.
Yeah, like, what?
I was like, well, what?
You got
like,
a musician and you don't let her. Ed Helms
Like-
sings and he's not a musician either.
Like, what contracting, like, copyright laws did you get into to not let Taylor Swift sing
Her
in your
label
movie?
was like, we can't have
they're
Miss
like,
Swift represented by the
no.
Lorax. We're
this is
gonna
bad
have to.
for bad for repertoire, and then she like goes off the deep end. Anyway,
Yeah, she goes
so
crazy.
yeah, I'm gonna say meme for the Lorax.
Okay, I think that's
Yeah.
fair. There's two really big ones on here, but I want to save them more towards the
Okay.
end. And if you have any to add, feel free to just
All right,
interject.
I added one earlier,
One that I haven't seen.
right? But I watched it recently, and
I'll
I
let
wanna
you talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay. So guys, meme or masterpiece? Barnyard. Now, Barnyard is one of Amy's favorite movies, and I have only watched it. I watched it like one other time, but I wasn't allowed to watch it growing up. It's one of those movies that like it's an old Nickelodeon movie that like, you know, back in like the early 2000s, Nickelodeon had such an aesthetic that was so terrifying to Christian moms because and I've actually I read a book about this like a while ago in like late high school about like the golden age of Nickelodeon and like what the behind the scenes of that looked like. And one of the past producers, he was like, no, literally our goal was to be just kids, like to be like, hey, don't include your parents in this. Like we are just the kids. Like, and I was like, oh, that's a little gross. Like I really don't like that. So I wasn't allowed to watch Barnyard. And looking back now, I realize why.
Yeah.
But it goes pretty hard. Like it goes hard, and like Sam Elliott is in it. Kevin James is the main character and he's phenomenal. And then Courtney Cox is the love interest. Like, and this was early 2000s, so this was like either during or right after Friends. So like that's really weird. So it's one of those movies where you end up saying, what the heck? Like at least 3 times, you know, when you're watching and you're just like, what is this? And it's a very memeable movie and it's very good. It had a lot of heart and it's very sweet. But I'm honestly going to say meme for Barnyard because it's very good and it's very sweet and it has a good story and a good, like, heartwarming moments. But it's not, and I hate to compare everything to Megamind, but, like, it doesn't hit at the same level. Like, it's heartwarming, but it's more to be funny. Like, it's more of a comedy. And my favorite part of this whole movie is they like catch these punk kids like cow tipping in the middle of the night. And so naturally they steal this lady's car. They're cows, by the way. The cows steal this lady's car, sneak into this kid's house and push him off his bed. And they go, that's what we call boy tipping. And he like flips out. And it's really funny.
Oh, yeah, that's the meme of like...
It's like, that's what we call boy tipping. Ha, ha, ha. And it's so good. And I've been quoting... you always quote, it's cow farm.
I've said that like
it's
10
so
times
good.
this week, bro.
I also love... I think his more underrated line is... The underrated line is by his wife. And she said, you cannot call me crazy. I am not crazy. I am medicated for a chemical imbalance. And we've been saying that. It's so funny. And so, like, you have those moments. But if I think about it, kind of like you were saying for the Lorax, I think about it for the memes. I'm not there for the deep emotional story. It's for the memes. And it was a Nickelodeon movie in the 2000s. Like,
Right.
It has, like, this skateboard kid vibe that's, like... You know, it's fun. So Barnyard goes in the meme category, and you can fight me if you want, but
Okay.
Barnyard goes there.
So I did go through, and I took off a couple that I knew neither of us have seen, or like
Right.
only one of us has seen, and I put some fresh meat on here,
Okay, let me see.
right
Here.
for the attacking. Because I'm
ready.
going to save these two for the end.
I'm ready.
Hit me with. How do you feel about Minions? The Rise of Gru. It was a big meme
Rise of
2 years
Gru.
ago. Everyone, the gentle minions. Everybody put the suits on, go to the movies. Like, how do you feel about that movie? Meme or
Here's the thing.
masterpiece?
I saw The Rise of Gru in theaters. Okay. And so I will also preface by saying I actually really like the first Minions movie. I really think it's pretty cute and like has a good heartfelt story while balancing humor. And I also love the first 2 Despicable Me movies. So this is not like, I'm not a hater. Like, I'm coming in expecting to enjoy something. And I was like, okay, it's getting great reviews. The marketing was so evasive for this movie. I don't know if you remember, like, when this movie was about to come out, for like months, nothing, you could not buy something that did not have the Minions Rise of Gru sticker on it.
That's
and
how
it
it
was
is when
just,
every time a Despicable Me movie comes out, dude.
and it's disgusting.
We got Minions bananas downstairs, bro.
So I was kind of like, okay, gentle minions, like, that's a fun trend. That's funny. Like, I like those kind of things where it's just like kind of like guys doing dumb stuff, but it's
like
harmless.
boys being boys.
Right. And
But
so
it
it's kinda
encourages
like,
the boys to get all dressed up and
to
look
like get
nice
together,
and fancy.
you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, people are like just kind of hanging out together. Now, some people took it like the wrong way and like did like crazy stuff that was just like disrespectful to theater employees. And we don't condone that in any way at all. You need to be nice to your theater employees.
Those theater employees already don't get paid enough. Don't make their jobs
right.
harder.
So don't, granted, I'm going to keep sneaking in whatever I want because I'm not paying those prices. That doesn't
that's
take
different, though. That's different.
That doesn't take out of the salary of the theater employees. I'm just sticking it to the man. Anyway, so that's cool. It's like we're encouraging people to get together. Like, this is fun. And then I saw the movie and it was really boring. Like, it doesn't hit the same way that the first Minions movie or any of the Despicable Me movies hit. It was a random like stitching of like Minions shorts that just needed to be like, it's not even 90 minutes long. The movie's like 85 minutes. So I don't know. What do you think?
I'm going to go along a very similar route. I thought the movie was pretty solid. It was a nice change of pace because I saw like Lightyear and then I saw Minions. So like going from a bad animated movie to a good animated movie was nice and refreshing, especially that year. I also went and saw it right before I graduated college, which was an interesting little thing.
I'm trying to see where I put it on my ranking.
But even then, like it's not the best.
It's nothing special.
Like, it's nothing too crazy. But I don't know. I'm definitely gonna put it in meme because when I think of it, I really only think of the Gentle Minions.
The Gentle
I'm not
Minions.
like, oh, let's put on peak cinema Minions: The
Gentle
Rise
Minions.
of Gru.
Dude, and my 2022 ranking is cracked. There's some banger movies on here, but Rise of Gru was number 19 of 23. So,
Wow. All I remember about that year is that Sonic 2 was number 1.
I also saw like, Jurassic World Dominion is on here, like Turning Red is on here. And it's just kind of like 19 sounds bad. Morbius is on here. Like,
I forgot about that came out that year.
Wakanda Forever is on here. Thor Love and Thunder. Like,
what a rough year.
But we also had like Nope, Everything Everywhere, Massive Talent, The Batman, Top Gun Maverick, Bullet Train, like, so, hit or miss.
Hit or miss.
So yeah, Rise of Gru goes to meme.
Morbius. Where are we putting Morbius at?
Oh.
I gotta say masterpiece,
Explain that to me.
So, like, Morbius, it's such... Words cannot describe this, like, how much of a... Like, words escape me to describe how much of a masterpiece this movie... Like, I genuinely don't know what to say aside from it's a masterpiece. Like, there's nothing I can say. The film has no merits of its own.
Right.
But I can tell you that it's a masterpiece, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, when
it doesn't need to explain
when we
itself.
think about the future of the Sony universe and where we've been, Morbius was like what's the word I'm like? We can, how do I want to word it? We can unburden ourselves from the past Sony Marvel movies with Morbius so we can see what can come. So if we unburden ourselves from the past,
we live in the context.
We can be burdened by the future of bad Marvel movies that really only exist for the sake of memes. Which is why, despite having no merits of its own, I gotta put Morbius in meme. It's so bad.
It's meme.
It's not good.
No,
I
here's
was really
the
trying to
thing.
hit it up for the bit.
Here's the thing. You had me going. You were convincing me. I was starting to think, I was like, maybe he's right. You should be a political leader.
Hey, listen,
I
all it
was
takes
like-
to be a politician is fancy words. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Do you think Morbius just fell out of a coconut tree? Let me tell you. See,
If we put it in the
Here's the thing.
context.
we live in the context of the Sony universe, unburdened by the MCU. See, here's the thing. Morbius, I think you could make a case for
No.
either, genuinely. No, I genuinely think that. In the sense of, it was a masterful misread of an entire culture. Like, internet culture on, like, I'm so glad I got to be alive to see the internet meme Morbius so hard that it got to flop twice.
Born too
The
soon to
fact
be in World
that-
War III. Born too late to be in World War II. Born just in time to watch Morbius, flop
twice. Born. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the thing is, I don't think there has been a bigger bad movie that I've been alive for. And so in a sense, it is the quintessential horrible movie, you know? Like, everyone knows that Morbius is just trash, and everyone treats it as such. There is nobody that unironically likes Morbius. So I think in that way, it could be a masterpiece of trash movies. But if you're thinking of like objectively like good movies, no, it's meme. It needs to get tossed into meme. Like that is
I don't think being
one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I don't think being a masterpiece of the trash makes you a masterpiece. You're still
I don't
trash.
I don't know. I think there is an art to a trash movie.
It's just the
Like-
lesser of the trash.
The lesser of the trash. Morbius is fun bad. Like,
Right. It's
More-
not like Madam Web, where Madam Web was like a slog to get through.
right.
And I wasn't laughing because of a meme. I was laughing, like, I was crying
I was,
laughing
like-
at the end when she
I
was
was-
like, my family, this is all I need.
family,
and now
this
I'm
is all I
blind.
need.
I had to, like, physically cover my mouth because I was
Right.
dying laughing, but we were in a theater and I couldn't laugh out loud.
No. When we saw Madam Web, there was 2 other people in that theater, and they were laughing too. Like, we laughed hard at Madam Web. But Madam Web genuinely disturbs me. Like, as a filmmaker, I am disturbed by how bad it is. Morbius is just stupid, and it's funny. And I'm kind of like, I can turn it on and be like, because, like, Madam Web has, like, continuity errors and terrible editing and like bad acting and like this and that, and Morbius has that stuff too, but I feel like the difference is they thought that Morbius was going to like hit so hard.
It's going to make more $1 billion.
They were like, this is going to make a more $1 billion, and then it kind of died when Jared Leto got in on the meme. And I just think Jared Leto is one of the like creepiest people on this planet, and I just do not like him at all. And then he did the thing where he was like reading the script, and it was like, Morbius 2, it's Morbin time, and it was like, all right. It's kind of like when Hillary Clinton dabbed and then no one ever dabbed again.
And then she said, like, let's Pokemon go to the polls.
Let's
and
Pokemon
then
go to the polls.
everyone was like, all right, Pokemon Go's not cool
all right,
anymore. I don't want
it's toast. I'm just
I don't
chilling in
wanna
Cedar
play it.
Rapids.
Okay,
I don't know how we got so political all of a sudden.
it was me pretending to be
Yeah.
a future presidential, or not future, current presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Talking about Morbius, which honestly, that whole spiel
Morbius.
made about as much sense as any of her campaign speeches. Anyway,
Anywho,
I'm gonna hit you with
Morbius
another
goes to
movie while I
change out the battery.
change out my battery. Tell me how you feel about the hit live action movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I did not expect to see this on this list, but I understand. Because there is a lot of memes about Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And let me tell you, I think that Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of the most creative and like bizarre movies I've ever seen, and it works so well. I think it's hilarious. I think it's brilliantly executed. I think the concept is incredible. The actors, like, it's perfectly cast. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Like, it is. I think Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a complete movie. I would consider it a complete 5-star. And so for that reason, like, I'm thinking about the memes, and I'm thinking about, like, the best part is him just jumping out the window and is like,
she's
hey,
like, is Scott here?
And he just like, and she says, no, he just stepped out. And the thing is, the movie is funny, but that like camera movement in the door is literally perfect. Like, it is absolutely flawless. And so you can disagree if you want. I'm throwing it at masterpiece.
You know, honestly, I gotta the same, just for all the reasons you brought up, because it's like, it's one of those movies that I didn't think I was gonna like as much as I did, because I didn't know anything about it aside from like it was a video game-y movie when I first watched it, and I was blown away. Like, I think it's genuinely one of the best like video game graphic novel adaptations they've ever done. And
because it's not from a real game.
Well, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because there is a game, but I don't know what came first. I'm pretty sure like the graphic novels came first.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
It is really good. Dude, the cast in that movie is insane.
I think I want to make a video about movies with like perfect casting, like not just like this character, but like group casting,
right? Like
full groups. I think of like James Gunn Scooby-Doo, like just like the perfect cast, right? And you think about like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, perfect cast. I think about like Inside Out, like perfect cast, like as a group dynamic. You think of like the Avengers, like perfect cast as a group dynamic, you know? Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is one of those. Brie Larson singing, what is it, Black Sheep in that movie?
I think so.
Great song.
Yeah, I mean, banger movie. Truly like a 5-star. Every time I watch it, it's so good. I'll give it a masterpiece.
I need to watch it again. It's actually been a long time since I've seen it.
All right.
It's kind of long, actually.
I think we can fit these in there. We'll do a little speed run here.
We're good.
Next up, hit movie. Tropic Thunder, but keep it brief, because if people want to know our full thoughts, then they gotta go listen to the after show.
Yeah, so the first episode of the Nerdiest Movie Club on the after show, we did do a full review on Tropic Thunder. So if you're interested in that, it's only $3 a month, and then you get access to the full show. Shoot. I gotta think about the metric that we're using, because if you're talking about like just crass R-rated comedy, it's a masterpiece, like in that way, because it is just like, there is not a line of that movie that isn't an offensive joke.
Yeah,
like it is like 90
could never
straight
be made
minutes
today.
No, there is like 90 straight minutes of just like offending somebody, and in that way it's a masterpiece. But thinking about the metric that we're using for masterpiece, it seems to be a little bit more objective, and we're kind of asking like, hey, this is memed, but is it actually a genuinely good movie? And for that reason, Sharks, I'm going to have to say meme.
Okay. I'll also give it meme, because there is a lot of good memes in there, man.
Right.
It's
They're
so funny.
A lot of them I can't say on the air.
Exactly. So if you want to know more about that, go check out the Aftershow.
My favorite thing, my favorite line from that movie, just like as like a film guy, is Tom Cruise is like on the video call, and he's like, which one of you is the key grip? He's like, which one of you is the grip? And the guy's like, here. He goes, see that director? Slap him across the face for me. And the little like grip guy is like, I'm sorry, and he like taps. And he's like, no, slap that man. And he's just like, I'm sorry, he's the boss. And just like just smacks him across the face. And it's just so funny. I don't know why. The idea of a grip slapping the director is just funny to me.
It's great. Okay, now, a movie we didn't do on the after show.
Oh.
I don't know why you said ooh. It could literally be any
it could literally
other
be
than like
any but
6
like 10 movies.
Let's go with all of these are animated from here on out. All right, good to know.
Nice. Sweet.
Let's hit up Emperor's New Groove. We haven't had a Disney movie on here yet.
Okay. I want to hear you first.
Okay. This is the easiest masterpiece on this list. Because much like Megamind, it has that perfect balance of like memeability and tying all of that into its actual storytelling. And you just, oh, dude. It's such a meta movie, but none of it feels out of place. Like the humor is also perfectly timed, and talk about a perfect cast, dude.
For real.
David
oh my
Spade.
Gosh. David Spade.
John Goodman, Patrick Warburton, and what's her name?
Oh, I know
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt. Dude, Eartha Kitt cooks in that movie.
It was insane. It was such a good movie. Oh, dude. I still think it's the best movie Disney's ever made.
Was that the number one when we did Top 10 Disney? Was that your number one?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, this is a freaking masterpiece, dog. Like, no one can tell me that Emperor's New Groove is not a masterpiece. It is a masterclass of, like, genuine comedy. Because the meta idea and, like, the concept in a movie like that could sell not well at all. Like, because it is a family movie.
Right.
And so I think that idea could get beaten to death really easily. And I kind of put like Emperor's New Groove and like the 2011 Muppets movie kind of in the same like boat, in the sense of like, no, you handled this comedy really, really well. And I don't know, his whole thing about like, he just addresses the audience and he pulls down the map and he's like, wait a minute, how did that work? But it's also, like you said, like genuinely an incredibly deep story that I connect with. And I'm like, wow, Disney cooked on this one. They did good. So, yeah, that's a masterpiece, guys.
Another
Emperor's New Groove
masterpiece.
is a masterpiece.
All right.
It's a complete movie.
Moving up the scale. Have you ever seen the hit animated movie Rango?
I saw Rango in theaters.
All right.
Actually. And I have not seen it since then. So, I cannot give a solid opinion. But based on what I remember and know, I will say meme, but that does not have a lot of weight as someone that does not know too much about this movie.
I watched it a couple years ago, I think also in 2021, coming full circle to that. And I gotta say, it's hard because I want to say like every movie is a masterpiece.
Right.
But at the same time, like,
would you put Rango next to Emperor's New Groove?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Like, it's a really good movie, but at the same time, like, and I guess it's a little unfair because I've been watching Emperor's New Groove for years, and like, I've also only seen Rango once.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
tentatively,
I'm gonna say meme.
Ooh,
I'm gonna say
meme.
It's rough, but I gotta say meme.
Dang.
All right.
That's rough. That is rough, buddy.
Last three.
Top three, guys.
You knew we weren't gonna make it out of this episode without talking about this movie.
All right.
How we feeling, meme or masterpiece? Disney Pixar's Cars 2. I'll let you go first.
Okay. So, if you've been a fan of the podcast for a long time, you know that we have some strong opinions about Cars 2. And I'm here to settle the debate.
Okay.
Guys, Cars 2 is a freaking masterpiece. It is genuinely one of the best Pixar movies. Like, I don't know if I can say that and not get like my head come at, but dude.
Was that a red laser on your shoulder? Is it?
It's like, oh.
Mickey Mouse?
No, that's the Cars 2. Here's the thing. If you're like, but it doesn't connect to the Cars cinematic universe, and it's go from radio things to spies. And I'm like, okay, scratch that, right? Just look at Cars 2 as a movie. It is so genuinely surreal and bizarre and has so much world building for no reason. And it's so funny and it's so quotable, but it backs it up with like fun action, a great soundtrack, good story, great characters, like good acting. Like, it's there. The pieces are there. It's not just the meme. So honestly, I will genuinely look you dead in the eye and say, Cars 2, masterpiece.
I'm just going to echo everything you said. I think for what it is, I think it's the best out of the Cars trilogy because...
That's crazy. That's a wild statement.
Like, it just does something original. Cars, the original, wasn't really doing anything original. It was taking a pretty solid story archetype and applying it to these people are cars. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not like the wacky out there, like, Finding Nemo is like, wow, let's tell this deep father-son story, but they're fish. Like, that's how does that change things? This is a great environment. Right. Or like Toy Story, wow, this is a different perspective because they're toys. Or like even A Bug's Life. And then Cars was just like, haha, cargo vroom. But if they were humans driving cars instead of actual cars, like, nothing would be added or taken away from the plot. But Cars 2, on the other hand... If you take away them being cars, you take away most of the luster from the movie. Because the whole thing is like, these cars have guns, and they go, and they shoot each other, and there's the car queen and the car pope, which the car pope, fun fact, is in the Pope Mobile, which would imply that they tried to assassinate a prior Pope car, because that's why he's in the Pope Mobile now. With bulletproof glass. So, like, it's just all these different implications that make you think, like, what the heck,
airport security, which means there was a car 911, which is weird because there's also the Planes movie.
And
it was
the
like,
planes are sentient.
But
was
the planes
it a choice
in the
or
movie.
were they forced to do it? Who's to say?
See?
Cars 2, masterpiece. I'll die on that hill.
Masterpiece. I love the original Cars. I will say that. But they're so different that it's not worth comparing. Like, even though they're in the same series with the same characters, they're so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Cars 2, masterpiece, guys.
Final 2.
Don't be sleeping on it.
Final 2.
All right.
I'm going to hit you with the B movie. Meme or masterpiece.
Okay. Now, I will say, I've recently watched this movie. I watched it this year. And I had to watch it for a class, and I had to write a report on it.
What?
I watched the B movie for school. If you think your college degree is worth it, wait till you see mine. So, yes, I had to write a 2-page report on the B movie. And the conclusion I came to was... It is the quintessential, like, surrealist movie that you're just like... It's a movie that will make you say, what the heck, at least 3 times while you're watching it. Because it's so out there, and it's so bizarre, and it's very quotable, but it's so out there that it's borderline... It's a dumb movie. It's kind of dumb.
It is a really dumb movie.
And it's the kind of thing where it's like, you could make a case and be like, well, Megamind's a dumb movie. Well, you know, freaking
Your
Morbius
mom's a
is
dumb movie. Got him.
Your mom's a dumb movie. Your mama went to college. So it's kind of like, B movie is another level of dumb. It's like a brain rot kind of dumb. That's kind of like the lady falls in love with the bee, and the bee is Jerry Seinfeld, and the
You like jazz?
huh? You like jazz? So it also like the story's good, but it's not going to be like an emotional roller coaster the same way that like Emperor's New Groove or Megamind or that kind of thing. So I'm going to say meme, because when you think of B movie, you think of the memes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's incredibly fair. I'm in a very similar boat. I was going to go masterpiece just to like really throw you off, just throw you for a loop for no reason. But the longer I think about it, like it is just a meme movie. Like
that's the point.
I don't know. Every time I think of the B movie, it's some meme. Like it's kind of like Minions, where I'm like, I'm not turning this movie on because I think it's a 10 out of 10 5-star. I'm turning it on because I think it's incredibly ridiculously funny, and the memes are insane, and I just want to turn my brain off and just let myself go for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I give a meme.
We're going to throw it in meme. Not to say that I also would like to clarify, like, meme is not a bad category. Like, it's just different, It's a different vibe. And, like, if I turn on Scott Pilgrim, I'm not like, oh, this movie is such a meme. It's such a joke. Or if I'm turning on, Emperor's New Groove, I'm not like, this movie's, or we're going to watch Emperor's New Groove just for kicks. Where it's like, no, if we're turning on Minions, if we're turning on Morbius, if we're turning on the B movie, we're doing it to be ironic.
Right.
Like they're different vibes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's completely different vibes. So the final
last one,
meme or masterpiece. I can't wait to hear you talk about this one because you've talked about it in a video before.
I have.
I have. Meme or masterpiece. Tell me how you feel about the hit DreamWorks movie, Shrek.
Okay, guys. You're talking to someone who watched Shrek 2 on his 1-year anniversary. You're talking to someone who went to go see Shrek the Musical. You're talking to someone who has a book called How to Be More Like Shrek. This is a real book that I own, and it's a very fun book. I think Shrek, granted, Shrek 2 is very good too. Keep that in mind. But Shrek, as a movie, is genuinely one of the sweetest stories that DreamWorks has ever done. And it's one of the most... This is going to sound dramatic. It's going to sound insane. I think Shrek is one of the best animated movies we've ever gotten, just in history. And it won the Oscar for a reason. And there's so much history and lore behind it that you're just like, it makes it so much better because the whole movie is just a middle finger to Disney. Like, that is the entire point of the movie, is to make fun of Disney. And Jeffrey Katzenberg, who like kind of founded DreamWorks, left Disney after not getting promoted and made Shrek to make fun of them, and then it won an Oscar. And I'm kind of like, if that is not the quintessential meme masterpiece movie, then I don't know what is. Because there is some incredibly quotable moments, great music, like Eddie Murphy is iconic, Mike Myers is iconic, like Lord Farquaad. There's a million like adult jokes that are so inappropriate in this movie, but they land so well, and it's just genuinely really good writing that just comes all together to be a masterpiece and a meme. It's both. It's the quintessential masterpiece meme movie. And that is that about Shrek.
Wow.
That's where I'm at.
I do not have that much history with Shrek. I watched it, I think 2019 for the first time. I was not allowed
to watch it growing up.
I wasn't either. For a lot of the like inappropriate jokes. And I understand why. Because after watching it, I went down to my mom and I was like, Listen, I just watched Shrek, and it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I totally understand why you did not let me watch it as a kid. That was not appropriate for a kid in any way, shape, or form.
No.
So I get it. And I wouldn't let my kids watch it either. I would make them wait until they're older. Because even once you're older, like, and you understand the jokes, you appreciate the jokes more. I do think it's a really solid movie, and I understand why it won the Oscar, why it's such a well-revered movie. I haven't seen any of the sequels.
Shrek 2 is phenomenal.
That's what I've heard.
That's the only one I've seen. Yeah.
So,
and they're working on Shrek 5 now. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. So I would also put Shrek in the masterpiece category just because it does tell that really great, really put together story, while also having those really quotable, really memeable moments that have clearly lasted the test of time among some of the other great movies that have been made.
Right. So there you go. Shrek, the quintessential masterpiece of a meme. Meme of a masterpiece.
And
Man or a Muppet.
I saved it for the end.
There you go. Hey, unless you have anything else to add, I think we can wrap this up. Put a little bow on it. So, hey, thank you so much for joining us on this journey of meme or masterpiece movie edition. If you really like this episode, then, we kind of left it open so that we could do, other things. Like we could do meme or masterpiece game. We could do shows. We could do music, like whatever you feel. It doesn't even have to be a whole episode. It could just be like a short segment and we could just talk about 2 or 3 things. So thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, if you like this format, definitely let us know. Leave a comment. DMs are open on Instagram at the Nerdiest Podcast. We love to hear from you guys. Send us an email. If you're not following us on Instagram, you can at the Nerdiest Podcast, or follow us on Twitter at Nerdiest Pod, or on YouTube at the Nerdiest Podcast. And if you subscribe there, that's a great way to help us just continue to support the show. And if you want to keep supporting the show, you can become a Spotify member. We're only $3 a month. You get access to our monthly bonus after show where we are doing the Nerdiest Movie Club, where we're going to be watching V for Vendetta this month, and we're so excited to talk about that. Super excited. Now, that's exclusive to Spotify members only, but if you want to support the show even more, you can go to thenerdiestpodcast.com and buy some of our new exclusive merch that we are super happy with, super proud of. I choked on my own spit. I was doing so good. And you can rep the Nerdiest Podcast with merch there, shirts, hats, stickers, pins, mugs, everything that you would ever need. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We're so glad to be here. We appreciate your support, and we will see you in the next episode. All the links are in the description for everything you need. We'll see you then. Until then, bye.